Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Paper Table Chat Show. It is season 9, episode 2, and I just remembered I better check that it's working through the right audio doodad, which it's not.
There we go. Hopefully you can hear me a bit better. Let me know if it's sorted itself out. I'll start again. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. It's season 9, episode 2, and I forgot to change the microphone from the general camera to the microphone. For some reason, it auto confuses itself every time. Has it sorted itself out now? My chat is delayed, it seems, as well. Just so you know. So if you've already commented saying it's fine, it's because it takes a minute for it to come through. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Got loads of people here tonight, so welcome, everyone. I'm not going to go through all your names, but hello and thank you for joining. So we've got a few things to chat about, but the main thing will be the leaf cutters tonight. It's not going to be a massively long stream, but it's just going to be a nice short talk about what's going on with my leaf cutters. But before that, we'll talk about a few other things. So one of the additions that we've had here in Ants on a Rock is pretty cool. I can never pronounce the proper name. It's the Monteseptipus something. It's Balfouri. We've got some Balfouri tarantulas. They're communal tarantulas. We've got a colony of 5 of them. They're absolutely brilliant, and I cannot wait for them to grow. They're going to outgrow their container they're in currently. We have rehoused them into a nice container, but they will outgrow it eventually and need rehousing, which is going to be super exciting but super scary at the same time. But yeah, they're really cool spiders or tarantulas. They are communals, which obviously interest me as an ant keeper. But yeah, like some really cool traits that we're going to see from them. They've already started webbing up their new enclosure and digging tunnels around it as well, which is pretty interesting to see. Again, that's the Balfouri tarantulas. They're very interesting, but they're not really like the sort of thing that a beginner should get. Just so everyone knows, I'm not necessarily well versed in tarantulas yet, but I wouldn't consider myself a beginner anymore. I've I've kind of got quite a few now and been doing a lot of work with them. So yeah, it was a good move to get some Balfouri, I think. So I'm excited about that, and you will see them on the channel at some point. What are they? What? Yeah, I will show them at some point. So what next? Product release. We're doing our massive product release on the website. It's coming. We're looking at mid to late September for the product release. We weren't really sure on the exact date, but it probably will be around mid to late September. It'll probably be late September, like end of September. We'll do the main release, but we might do we might have a few products at the IHS and things like that before you'll be able to pick up, which aren't like properly released. But yeah, it'll be during September. Obviously, it's nearly September now, so not long to wait. Super exciting for us. Super exciting for everyone involved, really. And I can't wait to release it all. Like, yeah, but it's got to go through testing phases and all of that lot still before we are happy with happy to release it. Um, but that's all you get. Yeah, that's all you're getting for now, info-wise. That is it. We can't tell you much more than that, but it will be not long, and there's well over 100 new products going onto the website, so that's super exciting for us. And I'm being invaded by my daughter, so I'm gonna lock the office door. There we go. She's got a bit of a thing at the minute about turning all the lights off. Like she used to do it all the time, and now, like she's going to do it again. And yeah, we live in darkness, so that's good fun. Um, the other thing that we might have going on, is another sale going on the website real soon. So keep your eyes open on the website, keep your eyes on the Facebook and whatnot for our announcements, because we might have a massive discount sale going, whatever you want to call it, another sale, another product discount. What do you call it? It is a sale, isn't it? Yeah, we got one of them. Or maybe we'll have one. I'm not saying. Yeah, so keep your eyes open, basically, and we'll have a load more cheap products real soon. Cheap ants, cheap products. Celebrate sort of everything that's going on this end, because we're making all sorts of achievements and hitting milestones all the time at the minute. Super exciting for us. Super hard work, but we are thoroughly enjoying it, and it's a good process to be going through. Again, saying, hey, Mark, yeah, that's absolutely fine, Christine. Like, that's why we do it. Oh no, it's Marcus. It's not timed on purpose, I promise. But yeah, we like keeping the prices completely affordable and more accessible. Obviously, we specialize in the more beginnerish ants. We do have the more complicated ants as well, but we don't really put them on the website. But on the website, we like to keep the prices accessible and affordable, and yeah, more like beginner friendly, really, isn't it? Wait until after the 15th. Oh dear. Like, I can't promise anything. You just like, if I'm in a good mood, basically you can almost, like, not guarantee, but it's more likely I'll just put on a random sale if I'm in a good mood. Like, we done one for my birthday, obviously. When was the one before that? We done one just because I was in a good mood. I think I come in, I was like in a really good mood, and I said, right, come on then, staff, let's do a massive sale and put loads of stuff on cheap, or do a giveaway or something like that. If I'm in a good mood, I tend to throw stuff away. Not throw stuff away, but yeah, that's it, Dean. That's it. We like being accessible. We like to help people into the hobby. That's it. Right. So let's talk about the leaf cutters, because, like I say, this isn't going to be a long stream. There's not going to be a stupidly short. We're probably going to be here till about 1:30. We might go a little bit past that. We might not. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to have a sip of energy drink, because you know what I need, like, is keep me going. What was it? I went into the shop the other day, and I literally had like a thing of coffee, a thing of energy drink, and I got some cigarettes as well. And he was just like, God, you're on a roll today. I was like, mate, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect? Right. Yeah, that's it. It was my birthday week. So, me being me, I don't just celebrate for a day. I like to do a whole kind of week of celebrating my birthday. And not just that, I don't necessarily like to receive all the presents. I like to give stuff as well. It's just part of who I am, and the way I've been brought up is like, it's a celebration for everyone to enjoy, not just you. Celebration of your life and your achievements in life, and it's sort of like what you can give back. So yeah, we did that sale for my birthday and things like that, and we gave back what we could to a few other things as well. Yeah, it's just something I like to do. I wouldn't expect it from anyone else, but it's just something I like to do. Let's talk about leaf cutters. So the leaf cutters, they've been having a bit of a funny week. Thank you, Dino. Been having a bit of a funny week. The fungus started looking really funny, and the ants were running about all over the place, and I couldn't work it out. Like, they weren't carrying brood, but there was loads of ants out of the fungus, like more than normal. They weren't feeding, which was the main thing. They weren't cutting leaf. They were just running about, not happy. Now, I looked in there one day, and there was almost a cloud of condensation built up. So I've opened it up and let it air out and whatnot, thinking that might be the cause of the issue. And both the feeding pod and the waste pod I've let air and pretty much dry out now. And like, it didn't solve the issue. The fungus chamber was still looking weird, and the ants were still running about absolutely mental, and I just couldn't work it out. And like, everything should be fine. And then, so I've gone on for a few days looking at it, like, it's not right. Like, I've got them cutting leaf again in this time by giving them different types of leaf, and at a much smaller quantity as well. And they've been cutting then, which kind of gave me good signs that it's not all gone yet. It's not lost yet, but there's definitely a problem with the fungus, and I couldn't work it out. Now, in the fungus chamber, there was really high moisture levels. You got to have it at like 99% humidity, anyways. So there's a lot of moisture in there. But there, like I say, there was almost a moisture cloud at the top, and it was dripping down the sides, which is a lot more moisture than normal. Now, I have been covering the top with a piece of paper, so I moved the paper off, thinking that might be blocking the air holes and stopping the ventilation in there. That didn't work, and it really perplexed me for a few days. And then I thought about it. What's the temperature in there? And I looked, and it is nearly 30 degrees inside the fungus chamber, which is way too hot, by the way. So it needs to be about 25, 26 degrees at all times. So yeah, I looked, and the monitor cable for my thermostat had fallen off and was just hanging midair, which means it wasn't even sensing the heat of the chamber. It was just sensing nothing. And the heat was on all the time for probably a good 3 or 4 days. The heat's been on all the time. So we quickly whacked it off, turned it off, and got it all sorted. I opened up the main nest chamber, which is something I never do. I opened it up. I got a cotton wool ball and quickly just went round the outside of it. Basically just collecting some of that moisture. Quickly did the top as well. There was ants going everywhere, but I'm not too worried because they're quite manageable, these ones. Like, even though they're biters, they're not stingers, and bites are okay because they only hurt whilst they're biting you. Stings kind of are a bit more annoying, so it's fine. So there was ants going everywhere. We collected them, put them back in, and it was absolutely fine. So don't worry about that. But I think I've sorted it. They are now clearly cutting their leaf nicely again. There's a massive pile of 3 different, and they seem to be cutting it really well. The fungus is already looking much better. They've built a nice layer of green on the outside. We'll have a look in just a second. You'll see what I mean. Like, so it's normally like a nice kind of light grey, kind of spongy coloured and whatnot. Now it started turning almost yellowy dark grey, which isn't a good colour. And they I don't know what's going on with the signal, by the way, because they're cutting the leaf and they're putting it onto the fungus. It's got like a green tint in certain places. I don't know if the camera will really show up, but we will have a look in just a second. But it's really cool, actually. Like, so I'm hoping they've made a good comeback. There is a lot of trash in the trash area, and that is dead fungus particles that have died off, and they've moved them into the trash. So it has like had a massive bit of damage from this. It will recover, I hope. I'm pretty confident in my abilities of keeping these now. I know what to do to grow the fungus. It's just keeping the fungus alive in these sort of situations. These are not weavers, these are leaf cutters, and this is the my brain's gone completely. Acromyrmex octospinius is what these are. But my weaver ants, my lesser weaver ants, is Polyrhacus dives. But these are leafcutter ants. Let's have a little look at the fungus if we can. So we're going to turn that light off. No. Try and so there's a lot of ants on it still. Sorry about the camera quality. It's kind of because it's in the shadows, and no, that doesn't help. There we go. That's a bit of a better shot. Absolutely covered in ants still. and they are slowly repairing it. Let's go and put that back there. There, that would do. That would do. Yes, the Weavers as the Polyrhacus dives in the big tank. Oh, that's a cool shot of that big one right in the middle, cutting that leaf. See that? That's pretty cool. Yeah, it looks much better now. Like I say, it did take a bit of damage. You can clearly see the damage and where it's sort of died off in sections, but it will make a comeback. And they're cutting nice big chunks of leaf, and you can see how much leaf they're cutting. You know, they are really getting through it. There's a piece of leaf going through that tunnel every few seconds, or there was a minute ago. Yeah, I expect all of this will be gone by the morning. Cool, there he goes, that big one in the middle. That's a big chunk of leaf. Go on, son. Go on. Awesome. So yeah, I'm hoping I'm gonna make you a camera. Yeah, I could do with stuff like that. I'm hoping that we've saved them as such. I don't think they were ever really going to die out. I don't think it got to that point, but it was definitely heating up in there. The fungus wasn't looking good. Obviously, if your dies, your ants die. As long as the queen is okay, I think we'll make a recovery. And I haven't seen any I haven't seen them dragging a dead body out, and I haven't seen any evidence of a dead queen. So I expect we're fine. And they're clearly back to normal activity, which is good. I'm just watching that ant trying to get that massive leaf back to the tunnel. It's pretty cool. If you do have any questions about my leaf cutters or the leaf cutter setup or my ants, feel free to ask them now. I will answer any questions that I can, basically. And I'm sure you've got questions about the leaf cutters, because people normally have lots of questions about leaf cutters because they're so different to other ants. But if you've got questions about the dives, Marcus, feel free to ask them as well. Yeah, I love watching them cutting the leaf, and like I could sit here all day watching them carry these chunks of leaf, and the in numbers. How much is the queen? Honestly, I don't know about the queen on her own. You tend to buy it as a colony with the fungus and whatnot, and they're a couple of £100 sometimes. Like, they're very expensive, these ones. Not for, like, I wouldn't say that you're a beginner, Marcus, because you've got quite a few now. You've got a bit of experience, you know what you're doing. But I wouldn't recommend them to you yet. They take up a lot of time. They're very sensitive, and like I've just had an issue right now. Like, it's taken me a few days, at risk of losing a few £100 here. You know, trap jaws. Do I have any? I do not. I would recommend checking out Ansel. He had some last time I know of. It's not one that I've actually had in stock before. I have been asked several times though, so maybe we will in the future. Some big plans on things like that, so we will see. Oh, hello, Answer. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Nice to see you. How are you? You good? Oh, I'm just drinking some energy drink quickly. Okay, that's better. I've got these what's this? Pipeline Punch. It's a pink one. It's all right, but still, don't be drinking energy drinks, because we can't. What's the word? Can't promote energy drink. I don't know. Yeah, this is the Acro hood. Like, we had a bit of an issue. I will go over it again in just a second. Not cutting out. It seems to be on constant. That's funny, Ben. Is it obviously it's all set up correctly. If you've got questions and worries, send me a picture this evening and I'll talk you through it, see if we can come up with why it's doing that. Yeah, that's it, Christy. I mean, so do I, but I talk about them on stream, but I don't want YouTube to be like, oh, you're promoting energy drinks or whatnot. I don't know. YouTube can be funny sometimes, can't they? But yeah, so my leaf cutters, we'll go through it again quickly just because a couple more people have joined. Basically, the thermostat really doodad end bit fell off without me noticing. So it's just been heating the fungus chamber for like a day or two, and I really didn't notice. Like I couldn't work out as to why the ants weren't happy. Like everything should have been fine, you know. And then it dawned on me to check that, and I was like, oh no, the monitors fell off, and yeah, they were not too warm, and the fungus has survived. But it was a little bit like hit and miss for a day or so, just like, oh dear, what's going on? Why are they not happy? Why is like almost every worker in the outworld area and not on the fungus? But as you can see, they're sort of cutting nicely again now and almost back to normal. I'm going to let the fungus grow back to pretty much the size it was, and then we're going to look at expanding them into a new feeding area and replacing this with a nesting chamber. The feeding area obviously will be the hardest part because we want to keep this as a display piece for the exhibitions. So I want to have it like built into what we've already got there, if you know what I mean. So it's a bit of a task, but it's nothing unaccomplishable. Is that a word? I'm sure it's if it's not a word, we just invented a word because it needs to be. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's just going to be a little bit interesting as to how we do it. I've sort of got a plan in my head, but you know what my brain's like when I've got like a million different things going on. And we are about to. Well, no, I've locked the door, but the little mess is trying to invade. Last year, after that monster heat wave, I almost lost my fungus, but then I see. Yeah, that's it. I mean, we've still got like the majority of the fungus hood. It was just for a day or so, it was like it wasn't looking the right colour, you know what I mean, and slowly reducing. I was just like, what's going on? Like, why aren't the ants like happy? Good evening, Love Cycling. Thanks for coming in, buddy. I was just like, why aren't the ants happy? They should be completely normal and like you know everything should be fine. But yeah, they'll be all right. Like there's like I said earlier, there's no signs of like a dead queen or anything. So that and the fungus still being there, they'll be all right. It's getting a nice tint of green to it, if you know what I mean. Like you will know what I mean. At this point in time, it's getting a nice tint of green to it, which to me is a good sign that they're doing their job and going to repair it. So I've got a few ideas as to how I want the expansion to look, but I'm like not 100% sure on what I want to do yet, material wise. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do like the like display piece it's in is obviously a wooden sort of box thing, which actually made for us locally out of recycled wood. By someone like local. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He normally makes garden planters, and I was just like, mate, can you make me a display piece for my ants? He was like, ants? I was like, yeah. Was like, okay, cool. So I gave him the right dimensions, and it fit perfectly. And yeah, it was amazing. He basically built us a planter and cut the front out. Yeah, and so there's basically what I do. Like 90% of my streams is me talking complete rubbish, going off topic, and then the other like 10% I'll talk about ants, maybe 5% because we make up 5% with duck races as well. But it is mainly just me chatting complete rubbish. I mean, how long have I been doing this now? Like year and a half, 2 years, been doing these live streams. Not every Wednesday and Sunday. I have had to have a couple of breaks now, but we've done tons and tons of these live streams. I can honestly say I've not got an awful lot to talk about. Not most of the time, always. See, I kind of I try and I write down bullet points that I want to try and cover, things that I need to talk about or whatnot. But I tend to just go off on one. Like it's pretty much unscripted. If you start scripting, this is what I find with my YouTube videos as well. If you start scripting stuff, it's like you stumble more, if you know what I mean, or I do. Like I get my words mixed up, and I can't talk, and then I'm like, and it all falls apart. Whereas if I'm just winging it, like now, it just kind of flows, like a river flowing down a hill. really, really fast and uncontrollable. You can let me try making you a display. Yeah, that'd be cool, Marcus. Actually, that'd be very cool. No, I'm up for anyone making a display piece out of some of my ant colonies. I mean, we'd take them all to the shows. Show us the spiders. Sorry, that was what was that in? I can't remember. It wasn't spiders. It was something else. But it just made me think of no, not this time. We won't do the spiders this time, just because they're all on the other side of the room, and I'll have to like literally move everything wire-wise around me at the moment. But we will do a bullet ant stream. What day is it? It's Sunday. We'll do a bullet ant stream on Wednesday, and we'll show off tarantulas then as well. You might even get see Boris the python, because he lives on that side of the room. There's quite a few animals on that side of the room, to be honest. But we're on this side of the room at the minute, and the cables are that way instead of that way. So we're kind of stuck. You got leaf cutters, you got the dives. What else is on this side of the room? Snails, roaches, hognose. We got vinegaroon. Oh, we got my trapjaws, actually. But you never get to see the trapjaws. They're one of the most boring ants in the world. Like, they literally just live underground. Like, you see them come out and grab their food, and then they're gone again. Gone. How? Oh, that's good to hear, Hood. How are your dives? Like mine are just insane. We feed them pork chops regularly, and they'll smash down a pork chop pretty much overnight. They've I've got a video coming out. Any time I get a chance to record the recording without kids in the background, basically. Oh, you've got new Polyrhacus, not dives. Yeah, I've got a video coming out about them soon, because they've had something really cool happen. I don't want to talk about it too much, but something really cool's happened with them at the moment. So I'm going to do that video as soon as I get to record the audio and the kids aren't in the background, which is quite difficult in this house during the summer holidays, apparently. It's sort of slowed down all sorts of things that I'm doing, but got to enjoy the kids whilst they're here as well. But yeah, so our dive colony, I would love to try and estimate the numbers, but I couldn't even come close to putting my finger on it. Thousands and thousands of ants. It's just absolutely insane. It is obviously my largest colony. Not looking forward to if I ever have to move them, because it's just going to be crazy. So that was just one side of the room. We've got all sorts on that side. We've got all sorts on the other side, and we've got a second room on the go as well now. And obviously, we have a separate stock room. So it's sort of we moved here thinking, we'll have plenty of space, and we've literally running out of space, and we're going to be expanding again before long. It's just keep adding more things. It's brilliant. Your dives filling that. Oh, Heard. I mean, it's 3 tanks. We've got that big tank is pretty much almost the whole back of it is the dive's nest, and we've got 2 extra tanks that they use as well, all connected by a bendy branch bridge thing that they run across between the 3 tanks in complete open air. It's absolutely insane. Let's do this. Let me clear the path. Right. That's the bridge. You have to ignore the really bad wallpaper. I've been here like 9 months and I still haven't decorated. That's them drinking a whole bottle of sugars, because that's how we do it now. They've decided to tear that plant out in the last day or so. I'll have to catch up with the chat again in a second, and then if we can see it. There we go. So yeah, it's somewhat crazy. No, they don't fall off often. Occasionally you get one fall off, but the tanks are honestly they're so close that there's like very minimal gap, if you know what I mean. So they pretty much just fall in either side of it. Let me just read back. How much room do leaf cutters take up? Good evening, Ross. Thanks for coming in. It depends on the colony. Obviously, the bigger colonies can take up quite a bit of space. They need quite a bit of foraging space and different fungus chambers. Obviously, the bigger the colony, the more fungus they'll require, etc., etc. Aqua Myrmex aren't too bad. They're more manageable. If you go for Atta, they are somewhat faster growing. And yeah, they can take a lot more space. How have I connected it up? They haven't killed off everything in the terrarium yet. There's still a few different things living in there, mainly the beetles doing really well. But you do see quite a few different species in there. There's like 16 species of isopods in the tanks between them. I think it is about 16. So I'm just reading, making sure I catch it all. Yeah, the wallpaper is pretty bad, but I have seen worse. I'm not going to say where, but I've seen worse. Can we see the setup of the leaf cutters? Yeah. Again, it's just the three. Do that. That's the cotton ball I used to clean it up earlier. That's the rubbish pile that they've created from this fiasco. Let's turn the light off. Trying to get it to focus. There we go. So there's still a fair bit of fungus in there and tons of ants. And then it's just a feeding pod. So we've still got a very basic setup, really. We've kept it's the same as what you saw at Sheffield Hood. I haven't changed it since then. Oh, see you, Lance Dorset. Thank you for popping in. God, these are falling everywhere. Hold on. That's better. That's gooder. We're there. Kind of. Whatever. We can see the ants. But yeah, I haven't changed it yet. Like I say, I've kept it under that manageable size, but it's at the point I was actually saying just before this. It's at the point that we need to expand it. We can't really hold it back anymore. But then this has happened and I'm going to have to let it grow again anyway. So I've got a little bit more time, but there's a lot of ants in comparison to fungus now. That is the main issue. So I've got to feed it quite well and hopefully regrow that fungus really fast. And then, like I say, I'll be looking at making that expansion happen. We've got a while now before the Sheffield show in February. So it will be things like that will be getting done in the meantime, and then it's show. Well, I mean, we've got quite a few shows in the meantime. We've got the IHS, we've got the Halloween show and a few other events going on, but we might not take the leaf cutters to them. We've got quite a few different displays to choose from now. So it's just a matter of chucking what we want in the van and off we go. But yeah, so we'll let them heal up, we could say, fix up what they got going on. How old is this setup? It's probably about a year old now. I think I got it about this time last year. Yeah, I'd say it was summertime last year when I got it. So it's at that point, it's got a lot of ants in there. I wouldn't know numbers yet, probably not 1,000, maybe close to 1,000, but they are still surviving in the single nesting fungus chamber, which isn't ideal. They'd like to have a lot more fungus at this point. So we'll be doing that. It's on the list, Yeah, that's it. They've got absolutely tons left in there. Like I could see it was slowly going. You know what I mean? It's one of them. Like it was a slow burner. I knew I had a few days to sort of work it out and manage it, so I wasn't panicking. It was just like, what's going on? In fact, I was sat here on the phone to Dean, and I was like, what's going on? That's a little bit weird. 2 seconds. For some reason, I had a Amy at the door. I would guess at least 3,000. Yeah, possibly. There is a lot of them. I mean, like I'm always conservative with numbers heard, because I don't want to say I've got over 1,000 and then clearly not have that. I'd rather say I've got 200 and have 500, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you've got two. Yeah, I actually watched a bit of your live. Was it a live? I think it was a live, but I watched it afterwards. But yeah, you've got a quite decent setup now, haven't you? With your I noticed the tube connectors. That was the thing that kind of took my eye, actually. Like full of tubes, they all chilling. Yeah, that is very true. It's like what's the word? Not porous. It's almost hollow inside, like a beehive, isn't it? And there's tons of it, especially the little ones. My God, there's like so many of those little ones. But yeah, I always, especially on YouTube, it's better to underestimate the size, isn't it? But yeah, there is quite a substantial amount of ants in there now, and yeah, they're one of my more interesting, fun colonies to watch. I say I've got a few like the blooming trapjaws there that you just don't see at all, and I've got a few which like just kind of twaddle about and do their thing, but these are always super exciting to watch. I love cycling. They're not easy to keep. I'll be honest. They are they're basically the pinnacle of ant keeping, leaf cutters. They're one of the hardest things to keep, just because this fungus is really sensitive. It requires a very certain temperature. As you can tell by this, everything started going wrong, and the humidity has to be really high as well. But the fungus chamber needs to be basically certain requirements and whatnot, and they're just a difficult species to keep. So they do require a fair bit of experience, and they're a lot of money as well, if you know what I mean. So it's not one that I would say just go and get and you'll try and work it out, because it's you think honeypots are, yeah, honeypots probably are harder actually, but it's more the price involved as well. Heard from me, like I say, it's if these do go wrong, it's the money behind it that you've just burnt, basically. You know what I mean? But yeah, honeypots aren't easy at all. I mean, I've not had proper honeypots. I've only had the European species, but they've always sort of, because obviously if they drop, the pleat drops off the ceiling, and that's pretty much it. Then they are very difficult in that. But yeah, it's like I say, it's the money that's involved in it. Like leaf cutters are just, if something goes wrong, then it really goes wrong, and it's going to cost you an arm and a leg, and possibly your other arm and leg, and your feet and hands and everything else as well. Good evening, Charlie. Thanks for coming in, buddy. We're just talking about things, the leaf cutters things. I'm going to say things costing an arm and a leg, but we're just talking about leaf cutters in general, actually. I expect you already know that, because like from what I've worked out, the chat is delayed by like a few seconds or whatnot. So you've probably already, I'm just going to shut up. Yeah, sell the wife. That's what it's pretty much what we all do, is like we get a wife, we sell the wife, we buy more inverts, we get a second wife, we sell the children, we buy more inverts, we sell the house. Eventually we end up just like in a field with loads of inverts. I will anyways if I keep going like this. I'm just watching this one leaf cutter. He's like struggling to get the bit off that he cut. He didn't quite cut it all. He went round and he didn't finish the job. No one's selling you. Well, that's all right. You sell Marcus, and you get the inverts. Thing is, my wife's brilliant, right? Because when we first started doing this, she said like one thing I always wanted was a birdie in tarantula. Right, I always wanted a birdie in tarantula. Do you get all sizes of aka put? I have no idea what that word is, per. Now you've confused me because I can't even think of the word. It's not polygamous. It's polymorphic is the word you're thinking of, Marcus. And yes, lots of different size workers in polymorphic. What was I saying? What was I saying? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, the one thing she said that I wasn't allowed to have was a bird-eating tarantula, and I always wanted a bird-eating tarantula. And like we've slowly been getting more tarantulas and things like that. And then she, like at the last show, at the big Bristol show, I came back. I was like, I just bought a bird-eating tarantula, and she's like, "What?" Like, yeah, but it's fine because we've got loads of tarantulas, and it's just another tarantula. And she wasn't that happy, but she got over that, so it's completely fine. Like that's my wife. She's pretty brilliant. Like I could get away with in most things. That's the main thing. Um, hang on, I'm happy to sell. We're not selling Marcus on my stream. Like, I'll get in trouble for that. I'm sure of it. I don't know. Look at that tiny little leaf cutter just on the. It's gonna be, I don't know, just to the side of the middle, but it's tiny compared to the big ones next to it. No, cute little thing. Oh dear. Oh, you got that bit of leaf. Go, sunshine. What was it? The other day I looked in, they were moving like a whole stick through the tunnels. They weren't taking a leaf, they took stem. That was quite amusing. Like we are heading towards the end of this stream now. I've got a million other things to do, I'm afraid, and I have nothing else really to talk about. We could stay here in the realms of going off on tangents, but we know where that ends up. So yeah, like if you've got any questions or anything, do feel free to ask them now, or we're going to start rounding up. Obviously, like I said, feel free to keep an eye on the website. Massive product release coming in September. Over 100 new products hitting the website. It's going to be absolutely amazing, fantastic. We cannot wait. Loads of videos coming out as soon as I can do the voice recording. You want a duck race, so we're going to do a duck race quickly. Soon as I can do the voice recording without children in the background. So basically, could be another week because they got another week off. I'm hoping to just sort of kick them all out to the park for a bit, get on with a bit of work in peace and quiet. Because I can honestly say the 6 weeks holiday, as fun as it is for everyone else, it's really hard to get on with work. But yeah, it's been good. It's been a good little holiday. Thanks for coming in, Love Cycling. Right, let's do a duck race. So, you know the rules, everyone. Choose your number. It's not got prizes. It's just for fun. I can't even remember what else to say. Choose your number. If it's already been picked, pick it again. Let's go through the ducks. Let's have a little look. We've got plain ducks. You got to watch out for them. They are dodgy. They are out to get them. They're going to set traps up the race course. You've got to be careful with the plain ducks. And all these stripy, spotty ducks, they're sort of another gang as well. You know, the ones without the features, they're the ones like, it's like wearing a balaclava for a duck. So we got strawberry hat duck. I don't really know what he's got going on. It might be a sign that he's got out of the loony bin. I don't know. Let's not go there. We've got Dracula Duck. Dracula Duck has been told he's not allowed to turn into a bat or use his capacity during the race. We got Donald Trump Duck. Let's get into Donald Trump in a minute. He's in a bit of a situation. And right up at the end there, we've got one of the royal ducks. I'm not quite sure which one that is. That might be a princess. It might even be a prince. It's hard to really tell these days. No, let's not even go there. Let's get this race underway. Good luck, everyone. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I know. The Granny Duck actually kicked butt last. Came out of nowhere right at the end, smashed it down at the race course. Probably went home with a few £100 in her pocket from the side bets at the end of the river. Now, I'm just looking at my coffee machine. It hasn't even got water in it at the minute. That's a bad office, isn't it? When your coffee machine hasn't even got water in it. That means I'm going to have to stand up to make a drink. The whole idea of having a coffee machine on my desk is to save me the time of having to stand up to make my drink. And now I have to go and bring my own water. Whatever's a man to do, eh? Right, so what ducks are... yeah, you've probably got the funniest looking duck there, Hood. I'm going to go with number 13. Doesn't matter if it's already been picked. I'm going to say number 13 just because why not? Lucky number 13. I mean, yeah, right. So, Dean, you were there. The worst thing, wasn't it? We went to plug in my coffee machine in the back of the van when we went to do the Bristol show. And we've got this like industrial, well, it's not quite an industrial battery pack, but it's a decent battery pack that I use for the leaf cutters when we're moving them about. And it wouldn't power the coffee machine. We were all so excited for a coffee. It was cold. And boom, well done. Number 4, you have won. Did anyone pick number 4? I didn't actually look at the numbers. Antisocial. Well done, Antisocial. You've won a purple duck. Whoop. No, I don't know. Oh dear. Right, on that note, I think we're going to start calling it a day because let's not go on to another tangent. It feels dangerous tonight. And I'm super knackered already, actually. My eyes are like painful. I've got so much to... Right, here's the thing, right? So I started when you've got a list of jobs, I started like a post-it note next to my list of jobs of like a side note to one of my jobs. And then I put another side note underneath that, and then another one, and then some of my other jobs. And now it's turned into a whole nother list next to my list, which I turned over. Turns out already had a list on the other side. So I've actually got like 3 pages of jobs. I only thought I've only got like one. It's just expanding. I've got so much I want to get done, so much work, but it's all for the greater good. It's going to be absolutely fantastic when we do get it done. And I suppose I just won't sleep for a couple of days. What I'll do is I'll get a decent night tonight, and then I'll do like 2 or 3 days of just smashing it out, and we'll see how much we can get done. Now I've got them in front of me, I know what I got to get done again. Problem is, if I don't have my list in front of me, I miss things out because I got to get on with other things. Does that make sense? That kind of makes sense. But yeah, lists are good for me. But on that note, I am going to round up. I am going to say you're all fantastic. Thank you for coming in again, listening to me ramble on about absolutely nothing. I'm not getting involved with that one, Hoods. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Obviously, we will be here again on Wednesday. We will be showing off the Asian bullet ants and probably some tarantulas as well. Maybe even a view of Boris the python if he wants to come out and say hello. But really, we got quite a lot. We've got over 40 colonies on that. In fact, we've got over 50 enclosures on that side of the room. So we can have a look at quite a few different things. So that'll be on Wednesday. And obviously, you have me here chatting absolute rubbish again. So come and join and listen. other things I need to say, massive thank you to our sponsors, Answer Us and Valhalla Martial Arts. Absolutely fantastic for them for their ongoing support of me and the streams and everything else that we do. But what else is there to say? Obviously, thank you massively to our Patreon supporters. If you're interested in Patreon, do check it out. It's only a couple of quid a month, and it does make a massive difference to us. Pretty much everything goes towards either feeding or hoping to upgrade technology. But it mainly just goes back towards feedings at the moment and general maintenance of all of our animals. But apart from that, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you all. You're spectacular. You're amazing. Shout me if you need me. If you haven't heard from me and I need to get back to you, I have been sort of rubbish the last few days, last week maybe. I've been so busy, as you all know. I'm just trying to get everything done. I really want to get all the products out at the same time. I don't want to leave anything behind, which means we've got tons and tons of things to do. Which is all good fun. And obviously the legal requirements of it as well all does take time and whatnot, and trying to get it all done in a fast manner for our big release date. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'm going to love you and leave you. As always for me, I'll see you again soon, Ant fans. Good night. Thank you very much.